Spirometry is a test of how well your lungs are working by measuring how fast and how much air you can breathe in and out. Normally, as you breathe in or inhale, air moves freely through your trachea or windpipe, then through large tubes called bronchi, smaller tubes called bronchioles, and finally into tiny sacs called alveoli. Small blood vessels called capillaries surround your alveoli. Oxygen from the air you breathe passes into your capillaries. Then carbon dioxide from your body passes out of your capillaries into an alveolus. You get rid of the carbon dioxide when you breathe out or exhale. Diseases such as asthma, bronchitis, and pulmonary fibrosis narrow your bronchioles, reducing the amount of air going into your lungs. And diseases such as lung cancer and emphysema damage your alveoli, reducing the amount of oxygen in your blood. These diseases can make it hard for you to breathe.
This video demonstrates how spirometry and peak flow tests are performed and how the results can be interpreted. Respiratory function tests are important in the diagnosis of lung disease such as COPD, asthma, and pulmonary fibrosis. Spirometry is being increasingly used in the primary care setting, and so it is important to be familiar with the procedure. For spirometry, you will need a spirometer and a single-use mouthpiece.
Hi there. Today we're going to do a breathing test called spirometry. It involves blowing out into this mouthpiece, and this machine, called a spirometer, measures how well you blow out. This sometimes makes patients feel a little bit dizzy or lightheaded, so we're going to have you sitting down throughout. We'll also ask you to wear this nose clip just to make sure you're only breathing through your mouth, which can be slightly uncomfortable. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. And have you taken any inhalers today?
No.
It is important to know the patient's age, race, and measure their height so that their predicted values and percentage of predicted can be determined. If the patient takes inhalers, spirometry should be performed after short-acting bronchodilators have been taken, unless a test of airways reversibility is being performed.
Okay, so first I'd just like to show you how to use the mouthpiece. So this part of the mouthpiece is single use and will be thrown away afterwards. I'd like you to hold the mouthpiece like this, and then put it in your mouth. Make sure you're not covering the hole with your tongue or your teeth, and then form a nice tight seal with your lips.
Okay.
You just show that. Okay, that's great, thanks. You can relax while I explain the next part. So I'd like you to sit up nice and straight. And we're going to be measuring two things here: how quickly you can blow air out and how much air you can blow out. So I'd like you to take a nice deep breath in until your lungs are completely full. Put the mouthpiece to your mouth as you did before, and then blow out as hard and as fast as you can, and keep going for as long as you can. We need you to do that about 3 times. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, if you could just put that nose clip on for me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, brilliant. And when you're ready,
okay.
Encourage the patient to breathe out all the way and check their technique.
Okay, that was great, thanks. You can relax while you catch your breath for the next one.
Okay.
So now we're going to do a test called peak flow, which involves you blowing out into this tube.
Peak expiratory flow rate is very simple, widely available, and commonly used in both the diagnosis of asthma as well as in the monitoring of response to treatment.
So for this test, what I'd like you to do is stand up, hold the peak flow meter like this, Take a nice deep breath, as before, and form a nice tight seal around the tube with your lips, and then blow out as hard and as fast as you can, like this. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
The peak flow reading should be taken either standing or sitting up straight to ensure good expiratory effort. As before, it would be important to ask about the last inhaler use to put results in context and to measure the height to compare results with predicted values.
Okay, and when you're ready, that was good. And one more.
The best of 3 peak flow readings.
Remove the cap from the inhaler. Shake the inhaler well for 5 seconds. Hold the inhaler firmly, by placing your index finger on top of the canister, and thumb on the bottom of the mouthpiece. Sit up straight or stand up. Tilt your head back slightly. Exhale away from the inhaler. Put the inhaler in your mouth. Press the inhaler and start breathing in at the same time. Take a slow and deep breath. Hold your breath for 10 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth or nose. Repeat 2 to 8 steps after 30 seconds if another dose is required. If you are using a corticosteroid medication, rinse your mouth after all doses are complete.
"15-year-old Chris is having a severe asthma attack. His immune system has made what could be a fatal mistake and is shutting down his airways. Without help from the medical team, Chris's body may shut down completely.
You're not going to die. You're not going to die. You'll be okay.
The breathing tubes in Chris's chest are squeezing tightly shut and filling with sticky mucus, blocking his vital oxygen supply. If he's not treated soon, he will die.
This is a really life-threatening episode of asthma. Asthma is pretty common in our community, and most of the time it's not this life-threatening, but this one is quite serious.
Chris's allergic reaction has tricked his immune system into shutting down his airways, blocking vital oxygen to the rest of his body. The drugs are supposed to help the muscles around Chris's airways to relax. But there is a problem. The mucus stops the drugs from reaching his blood supply.
Through the vein to try and help it out, because sometimes the lungs close down too much for this stuff to work. So.
Time is running out. Chris's body takes emergency action. His shoulders and neck muscles swing into action to help inflate his lungs. But even this is not working. As the pressure mounts, the team must find a treatment to get the drugs past the mucus. Chris is by no means an isolated case. 1 in 9 Australian children suffer from asthma. But for Chris, the situation is looking dangerous.
Chris is currently having Ventolin or salbutamol through a nebuliser, which he's breathing into his lungs. This acts on the muscles around the small airways and helps to open them up. Unfortunately, sometimes when the airways are very closed down, the salbutamol doesn't reach the areas that it needs to get to. The inhaled Ventolin is not working, then we often will go to a different form of medication. Again, a relaxant for the muscles around the small airways, and it helps to open those airways up, and it's given as a one-off dose over about 10-15 minutes in severe asthma.
Inside Chris's body, the airways start to open as the drugs take effect. Air finally returns to Chris's lungs, inflating the 300 million tiny air sacs.
Chris, feeling a bit better?
At last, he can breathe.
Chris seems to be feeling a lot better now. The intravenous medications seem to have taken effect. He still is very tired because he's been working very hard with his breathing, but we're a lot happier with his clinical progress now.
Chris was admitted to intensive care for 3 days, with a further 3 days in a medical ward before being sent home. He is now back at school playing soccer and is aware that it is important to look after his asthma and to tell his teachers and family when he's not well. Chris had always expected other people to look after his asthma, but after this emergency, he now understands that he must recognise when he is having asthma and follow his asthma action plan. Before leaving hospital, Chris learnt what asthma is, how to manage his triggers, what his medications do, and how to use them correctly. Chris now uses a spacer to have his medication. He also learnt how to recognise when his asthma was worse and the need to follow his asthma action plan. Chris has taken control of his asthma.
A few different platforms on here, one on the chest, one on the wrist.
With support from the National Science Foundation, electrical engineer Veena Misra and her team at North Carolina State University are using nanotechnology to develop small, wearable sensors that will monitor a person's immediate environment and vital signs.
One part of the sensor, for example, if it's located on the wrist, can monitor your hydration levels, your heart rate, your EKG, if it's located a little bit above in the arm. The same platform can also be used to monitor the environment. And there we're looking at gases such as ozone, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen dioxides. And so our technologies will really enable that connection and help people make better decisions and also prevent themselves from getting exposed to toxins in the environment that can exacerbate certain conditions like asthma.